Up. So for a long time, I've been questioning. I had a very big question. Should you live the kind of life described in the book that's called The 4-Hour Workweek? If you haven't read the book, it's about. It's the book that basically tells you that you should really, go away from your work, and you should really, you should create a lifestyle. It's a book about basically lifestyle design. It's a book about making your life in such creating such activities in your life, creating such automation, elimination, like all that stuff that makes you work less, but it also gives you more output. So it's in a weird way you will be actually much more productive with this book, but it's also it does it not for the fact that you should do it for more productiveness, right? The deep work is more about that, but it's about making life away from your work. And as a man who has desires, who has goals, it's a very strange thing. Think about it. If you're a man who has goals, if you're a man who has purpose, it's like hearing that you should chase your purpose less is fucking ridiculous. It does not make the slightest sense to do it. And what I've came to conclusion is actually very counterintuitive. It's like in a weird way, but it actually makes you so much you still chase your purpose, and actually in so much more efficient way. So how to integrate the ideas of purpose, the masculinity, and how to integrate the ideas of the deep work, and how to integrate the ideas of the 4-hour work week. So I want to start off. You should chase your purpose relentlessly. Like, if you are not doing everything in your life for a purpose, bro, you're doing something wrong with your life. David Deida said that. David Deida is the book writer I actually really respect. It's a book. He wrote a book that's called The Way of the Superior Man. And what he described in that book is the concept of purpose itself. That's where the purpose came from. And one of the phrases that he has used in his definitions of purpose is, in his ideas on purpose, is that the secret to success is to minimize distraction and detours from your deepest purpose. Now, for me, my deepest person, the calling that I feel right now is creating this movement. The video that you're watching right now, I'm not doing it because I'm just doing it for the fucking fun or for the fulfillment or some other bullshit. Bro, I'm doing it because I want more men on self-improvement, right? I want more men who are as strong as me. I want more men who are who are fucking strong, who I can rely to, whom I'm with, and I'm not disgusted by their weakness. Who am I with, and I can fucking rely on them. I'm doing that for that, right? I want to create a million of men who are, at least a million of men who are doing that, right? And my kind of way of doing that right now, right, is recording videos. And it's like the main work that I do. I basically record videos and I write these frameworks. I have notes here, right? My work right now is to go make as much men as possible on self-improvement, right? That's kind of my work. That's the task that I'm doing. It's like direct work, that gives value to the world, right? It makes sense. I hope it does. But here's the thing. What if there is a better way from that? You think about it. I don't record videos for 10 hours a day. I don't record videos for 5 hours a day. I don't record videos for even an hour a day. I spend 30 minutes on that. What do I do in my other time? Now, that's the question that's the question of the how to integrate the 4-hour workweek into your work. And I'm right now chasing my purpose to the extent. What the hell am I doing? To the fullest extent. What am I doing? So I've substituted the time that falls out of my like. I don't. I want to I chase my purpose as much as possible, but I do that in a way that gives it much faster way. It gives you a much faster approach, and this approach is just educating yourself. Now, you may heard that basically in all my videos I'm ranting about how reading books is important and how the like education, but bro, it is. I'm not just saying that because I'm a fucking dumbass. I'm not saying that because I'm just trying to rant about reading books and I'm fucking your school teacher who just wants you to read books. Bro, I'm telling you, because if you are not reading books, you are missing so much information. I've started to read books on like a month ago, and the way I've progressed from that is such huge leap. You wouldn't even believe it, bro. If you don't read books for 1 hour a day, bro, you're a dumbass. Go read your fucking books. Alright, you heard my rant. So, what I suggest here is minimize your work hours. So it's like minimizing your work hours is a good idea, but it's a good idea because it frees up for your education. It's a good idea because it frees up time for your improvement in areas you wouldn't even question before. So my grandfather, he's a pretty wise man. He's like 60 years old and he's a professor in university. Bro, man, he's a smart guy. I respect him, right? No, yeah, I respect him. And so he has said like a phrase that I really like to this day. Books give you answers to questions that you haven't even asked yet. And so books give you the answers to questions that you haven't asked yet. It's such a beautiful phrase, right? And I have never realized it. I just try to learn from my own ways, and like if I had a question, I would just try to I sit in Jordan and go through it and read down all the things that I think about, right? But books, they give you answers to questions you haven't asked yet. Books give you questions that you haven't asked yet. Books give you like this information, the wisdom of man. And that's the beauty of it. I would never ask a question I would never even consider starting a YouTube channel if not for the book that's called Expert Secrets. I would never consider working less if I haven't read the deep work. I would never consider, working less if I wouldn't read if I consider elimination, like the decrease of my work tasks, if I haven't read the 4-hour work week. And that's the beauty of it. That's like such a beautiful thing, you wouldn't believe it. Now, I wanted to also briefly, so the core idea is minimize your work tasks. Like the fastest way for you to chase your purpose is actually reading, and you free up time for reading by minimizing your work tasks. Does that make sense? You need to read more, but to read more you need to work less, and for that you can use the ideas from the 4-hour work week. Man, that's beautiful. It took me almost 2 or 3 months to realize, but bro, it's such a good concept. I love it. Now I want to also touch a concept that I've came up with when I was just working on this video. There are 2 types of good books that you can read. There are books that pose questions, like you remember that the books that answer the questions you haven't posed yet. Now, most of the books do that, and and actually, I would say all the books do that, right? Because it's a bad book if it doesn't. But there are 2 books. There are 2 types of books that I just want to touch on. Now, the first type is the book that gives you answers to the questions you have already. If, for example, for me it was deep work, right? It was the books that I wanted to work more deeply, and I wanted to make more output per hour. So I read deep work. But then there are books which are great books, which can alter your life flow in a ways you don't even believe. It's the books that give you answers to questions that you haven't asked yet. It's the books that gives you questions that you haven't asked yet. And for me, that book is like that books that I always talk about is The Way of Superior Man. The book that the concept of purpose came from. So just try to alter these both. Try to first, bro, It doesn't matter. For you to chase your purpose, read more. Like for you to the fastest way for you to chase purpose is to read more extensively, and the fastest way for you to read more is to just work less, and you work less by implementing elimination and automation from the deep work. It's such a beautiful concept. I love it, bro. Alright, man. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going off. I'm in Krakow. Bro, it's beautiful. See you.